Hello viewers, welcome back to day 3 of poisoning your mind with stuff that's happening on the internet. Open wide for your delicious slop. Episode 1 was YouTube's fake nice guys. Episode 2 was how bread tubers manipulate you. Ooh. This one's gonna be about the topic of, what is this crap?
This isn't the only tactic these guys use to attack their opponents. They also love labeling them as full-blown extremists. 3. They dehumanize their opponents.
Dehumanization. Oh, that's scary. What does that mean? The process of depriving a person or a group of positive human qualities. That sounds pretty messed up. So if me and the fellow bread tube cabal are doing that, somebody should put a stop to it. Let's hear if we are. Here we go.
Bread tube, being filled with many on the far left, view those of opposing viewpoints as inherently bad. Even those who most would consider right-wing. Even the occasional left-wing personalities get called Nazis from time to time.
Yep, that does happen. I think he's kind of describing a tribalism, especially online. That's a thing. Right-wing people do this too. They'll label you woke, and then your woke just means bad, regardless of any specific claims about the alleged wokeness. But leftists and progressives are not immune, obviously.
They do this due to an "you're either with us or against us" mentality, trying to draw a line between their side and everyone else. This instead alienates people and makes them more radical, which is not a good thing on either side of the political spectrum.
Dipping into a little bit of enlightened centrism there, I think he's operating under the assumption that the changes in society that need to be made cannot and should not be achieved through radicalism, which is just not true. That's very ahistorical. If there's changes you want to make, sometimes you gotta get a little radical, bro. You gotta kickflip your way into civil rights or whatever. That said though, online echo chambers are a thing, and holding extreme political views, especially if they come from the internet and are from an echo chamber, as in you haven't evaluated all of what's going on and don't have a firm grounding of it in reality, that can be bad too. So let's just see what examples he brings up here. How about that?
I first brought this topic up in my Noah Samson video, as he loves to label his opponents as incels, red pillars, reactionaries, or fascists. An issue I have with this is that he doesn't properly define these terms, as he kind of throws them around all willy-nilly. I mean, there's this one video where he shows a cringy workout motivation video, and describes it as this.
Like, I'm all for a little gym motivation, right? But why does it have to be a little bit fascist, I don't know, seems not great.
What does showing fat people as lazy have to do with fascism?
I'm happy to answer that question, Rob. If we go back to this video, we can look at what he described as a cringy workout video. So the video in question was a gym motivation video. The video ends with a guy going to the gym, getting stronger. It says embrace masculinity, and then there's a bunch of muscle boys and sports boys and strength boys. The reason I described this video as a little bit fascist is not because of the workout stuff, but because of what comes before that. What is held in contrast to it, which is somebody saying men are not meant to be dominant, life's too short to exercise, there's better things to do. This guy's saying nobody cares about your muscles. This guy's saying someone in sort of a clown goth makeup is telling someone else they're corrupted. And then there's a clip of a person screaming, which is kind of the archetype of the triggered SJW. And also clips of people saying it's okay to be fat and that working out is fatphobic. And then this guy doing all this stuff. That's when it transitions to the workout stuff. Fascism as an ideology is built on a structure of power and superiority. Power on its own has no claim on morality. Like when I bench press 2 plates 5 times like a freaking beast, I'm able to do that without harming anyone, unless I hurt my shoulder, which I did a little bit. Whereas stuff like this promotes harmful stereotypes about fat people, gender non-conforming people, using triggered SJW tropes. So it's positioning strength, muscularity, and masculinity against laziness, fatness, gender non-conformity, these other forces, which I think would be described in this context as cultural degeneracy. All of which are things that fascists don't like and want to stomp out of the world with fascism. If you actually do want to know more, there's a really good YouTube video about body fascism called The Fascist Physique Weaponizing the Body from Mika Lefay. It's a great video that goes a little more in depth.
Another breadtuber who unnecessarily used the term fascist is Big Joel, who made a video titled "Conservative Comedy Destroyed My Life."
That's the face of a guy that's about to dehumanize you if I've ever seen one. Just look at him, the scary lighting, the Mickeys, there's so many Mickeys.
In this video, he reviews the Nostalgia Critic video on the 1982 Pink Floyd film, The Wall. Joel's criticism of it is incredibly questionable. I mean, Doug himself is not political, and neither is this video really. Joel alludes to Doug being a liberal centrist, but then calls him reactionary as he dives into a contentious scene. The scene being parodied alludes to fascism, while the parody itself is a pretty pretentious message about cancel culture, but it wasn't intended to spread any sort of political messaging. This doesn't stop Joel from saying this.
Doug looks at a film about a Nazi who screams about murdering Jews and says, "That guy's just like me. I'm gonna make a whole song about how much I love that guy." And that's not funny, at least not on purpose. It's sad.
Again, criticize the shitty video all you want, but you lost me when you tried to string together a political message out of it.
Criticize the video all you want, except politics. No politics. This one really pisses me off because that video is such a banger. I love that video. It's one of my favorite videos of the last year. And the reason I love it is because Joel is so clearly very thoughtful about the way that he reaches his conclusion about the Doug Walker video and about all the kind of conservative comedy examples he shows. Thoughtful in a way that I genuinely do not see anywhere else on YouTube. So when Rob here just strips all that away and summarizes the video for us, doesn't show any of Joel's arguments, just plays a small piece of his conclusion, God, it's just such a shame. He's just pissing and shitting on a great video. The only way alarm bells wouldn't go off in this sort of framing watching this video is if you're already biased enough against Big Joel or the idea of people being called fascists, that you're willing to accept someone's summary at face value without being presented with the actual arguments and examples. 0 for 2 on the dehumanization allegations, in my opinion.
Other breadtubers use similar tactics to create sort of a scapegoat for the opposition in order to discuss the criticism. During the super mega drama, Nick would refer to his haters as Reddit debate dorks.
Wait a minute. I thought we were allowed to insult people. Are we allowed to insult people or not? Because that other time he was saying we can.
And I think it's fine to make fun of a public figure's appearance.
But now when Nick calls someone a debate dork, he's dehumanizing them. Come on now.
The first time was indirectly in a separate video.
Today I'm wearing my scary shirt to make me look a lot more scary. There's too many Reddit debate bro dorks on this website trying to come after me every single day. So I thought I'd show them a little bit of what I'm made of. You know, do I look scary?
Sure, buddy.
Dude, he's joking. He's doing the joke. He's not saying he... but this is pretty scary. I don't know, just like that Joel thing. There's some scary guys on the left.
Anyways, he says something similar in an Instagram story, very clearly referencing Destiny, who began looking into the super mega drama thanks to Turkey Tom.
Oh, God damn it, dude. Oh, just when I start taking it seriously, I get ripped out of the illusion by sentences like that. Did you see Nick is not green very clearly referencing Destiny on his Instagram story? All because Destiny was talking about the super mega controversy thanks to Turkey Tom? Holy fuck. Talk to a person in real life. Not just Rob, but me. I'm talking to myself because I'm making a video about this, and you, the viewer, if you care about this. I'm doing a little too much, but all I'm saying is this is a hilarious conversation to bring to someone that isn't terminally online. That's all I'm saying.
Then we come to In Praise of Shadows, who I'll call Zane for the rest of the video. Surprised I really haven't discussed or talked about him on the channel yet, though to be fair, a lot of channels did. I did archive the original video, so you're welcome.
Thank you, Rob. Everybody say thank you, Rob, in the comments. Thank you, Rob.
Basically, this dude makes horror movie videos and made a really bad review of The Hills Have Eyes, where he compares the cannibals to American minorities.
There we have it again, this tendency from Rob and people on the internet. You know, this is a thing, I've done it before, of describing his review of The Hills Have Eyes as really bad without really explaining why. What I need to be filled in here on is the context surrounding what Rob says is In Praise of Shadows comparing the cannibals to American minorities. I'm doing one of these videos today, so someone kindly comment on whether or not that's a fair characterization of what he did or why that's even a problem, because Rob doesn't say why. Based on what's transpired thus far of Rob taking me out of context and dehumanizing me, I'm inclined to believe that there's more to the story here.
This basically sent him into a downward spiral, leading to the video, Bad Conservative Horror Movies. Most of this video has nothing to do with the title, and is mainly a response to the hate he gets, along with being a hit piece against a bunch of YouTubers he has a hate boner for.
Yeah, this was the most dunked on YouTube video that I think I've ever seen. I've never seen so many videos made about a guy and so many views. From some of the points I've seen in that video, I do actually agree that this was a case of kind of throwing labels onto people without explaining why, or when explaining why, using like guilt by association type stuff. You're welcome to share your opinions on it in the comments.
One of the only political YouTubers he mentions is Shu, who Zane refers to as this.
He is publicly friends with Shoe on Head, who is a conservative masquerading as a leftist, who has built a career off of lazy anti-woke content complaining about SJWs, who says stuff like, Karl Marx rising from the grave finding out his movement has been taken over by fat, ugly, mentally ill losers.
Yeah, Shu is not a secret conservative. She voted for Bernie Sanders.
Voting for Bernie Sanders doesn't disqualify you from being a conservative masquerading as a leftist. In fact, if you were a conservative masquerading as a leftist and you wanted to do more masquerading, it would make sense to tell people that you voted for Bernie Sanders. But okay, is this tweet evidence enough to classify her as such? I'm inclined to believe that anyone that represents the left left in this type of way typically does have some sort of conservative or anti-woke bias. And I remember this discourse, it was someone saying, if you're a leftist, you need to work out, and then someone saying that makes you a fascist. It was people just being too online, basically. And so when Shu uses hyperbole to kind of associate two people being wild online with like the broader left and Karl Marx or whatever, even if it's like joking hyperbole, it's still indicative of some form of bias. Is that enough to call her a conservative, like a tangible example? I don't think so. I think at one point I would have said yes, because my visceral reaction to reading a tweet like that is, oh yeah, 98% of the time someone tweets something like that, they're a conservative. But I've been around the internet long enough to know that I just basically need more examples, that's all.
Lumping these pretty average people as right-wing extremists is pretty hilarious, as this dude is an actual extremist. I mean, at one point he claims that Wendigoon shouldn't be allowed in public, due to the beliefs Zane described him.
I care deeply about horror, and everything that he does has demonstrated so far in his career that he should not be welcomed in our spaces, or even, just in public in general.
I feel for Zane on this one, man, because I've had this same thought before. I've probably said this before, which is this person shouldn't be welcome in our spaces is kind of a declarative way to signal that you think they are causing harm. And whether or not that's a problem using that description, I think depends on whether or not they are causing harm. And that's something that's up for disagreement. In this case, do I think Zane shows that to be happening, to Wendigoon to be doing that? I don't. Not from what I've seen anyways, but again, help me out, audience, because I'm open to the marketplace of ideas and free and open debate. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
He also accuses Wendigoon of being racist, strictly because of the area he lives in.
Deep Appalachia is very white country, and for the most part, is exceptionally racist. Genuinely in this part of the country, you have to assume that any white person you meet is racist unless they show you otherwise.
Yeah, this was one of the clips that I saw and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty wild thing to say. The first reason being that it plays into this framework that you are racist or you aren't. And I think as a broader societal structure, people hold racist views and attitudes in varying degrees. The most progressive cities in America will have a bunch of racist people and people that hold racist beliefs. It also feeds into the idea that you can somehow prove that you're not racist. And how would they do that? I don't know. Would they need to carry a card? I don't know. Most of the time, it's not really up for us white boys or purple and pink boys that actually look very similar. Many people pointed that out, to decide whether or not people, based on their interactions, are racists or not racists. So yeah, that was my issue with this clip, but let's see what Rob says.
What would I call someone who judges another person based on skin color? Oh, I know. Racism.
Okay, well, same conclusion and different reasoning. Let's call it a draw.
Now, I really didn't see any other breadtubers defending this dude, as this video was bad, even for their standards. Though these guys produce similarly bad faith videos, it's just never this blatant. Noah Samson recently talked about Zane, mentioning that it was just weird.
So in case you couldn't tell by the footage he's showing on the screen, this guy's referencing, it seems like In Praise of Shadows video about Wendigoon, if anyone's familiar with that. My audience might not be, but pretty weird video, pretty weird and bad video. I like that guy's videos otherwise, that was just a really weird video.
I guarantee you Noah is downplaying it.
Dude, it's so cancel culture, bro. You didn't denounce it enough. You are downplaying it. You know what you did. I get it, because we do kind of look similar, but a different guy. That's not me. I'm a different guy than that, so I don't have to answer for his heinous crimes.
I guarantee you Noah is downplaying it, because his exposed videos are just as poorly done.
Hey, rude, okay.
I mean, his Cheeto video basically painted him as a terrorist for reacting to something from libs of TikTok.
Rob, you're doing the thing again. You're telling people what the video said and not allowing them to see what the video said. And that's not what the video said.
He also accused Patient Xena of creating a right-wing pipeline, for not thinking racism wasn't the only reason people didn't like the Little Mermaid remake.
Now, my issue with that video was that she didn't bring up the racism at all. Like, it wasn't mentioned anywhere. I ended up taking that video down for a number of reasons, but one of them was what he mentions here, actually, which is that the right-wing pipeline argument, I think is not a great one and relies on kind of older YouTube's logic. The logic that every video you watch is going to push you further down in a pipeline, and if there's some that's minorly conservative or like centrist with conservative leanings, that will inevitably happen. And I don't think that's true anymore. I think it still exists, but definitely not to the severity that it did in like 2017.
And he even deleted the Patient Xena video earlier this year. They do this because at the end of the day, breadtubers are only really looking to make their political team look good, not having nuanced or interesting discussions.
Wait, why does he use the example of me deleting the video as not having nuanced discussions? I deleted it because I feel like it harmed that, exactly what he described. I remember looking at her comment section and seeing the immediate influx of people going to call her Candace Owens. That was fucking wild. All it takes is one video like that to get that white leftist racism to start flaring up like crazy, so, and I contribute to that, which is why I took it down, but I don't know, I thought he would give me a cookie for that, but apparently it makes me take it fake and two-faced. So yeah, okay.
And has made numerous attempts at dunking on Think Before You Sleep for being far right and doing bad research. These usually never work for him.
These usually never work for me. What does he mean? The most views and subscribers myself and Think Before You Sleep have made on our channels have been from each other. We're business partners. That's the unfortunate reality of these interactions. I get a lot of comments saying that I've been getting owned online, and other comments disagree, so.
I guess we'll never know.
The only ones that truly lose internet beefs like the ones me and Think Before You Sleep have is the people wasting their time watching them. That was my conclusion after seeing the 2.5-hour video that got dropped. Oh, we're the problem. Yeah, we're the problem. That video specifically is what made me change my entire life around to basically try and go outside. I'll respond to it eventually when I muster up the interest. Maybe now that I'm uploading consistently, it'll boost me over the edge into working. Tag two blokes who do fuck all. All right, so those are the arguments and examples for point number 3, that we dehumanize our opponents. That's my interpretation of them. Let me know what you thought, if you agree, if you disagree. The basic premise here, I kind of agree with generally on the internet. People should do a better job at explaining what they mean when they use certain political terms. I do think there's a human element to that though, where if you're online and people follow you, that you're on a shared understanding of what we mean when we use the word fascist, let's say, and stopping to clarify why something is fascist 24/7 is annoying, and it harms the ability to have certain conversations. I don't think that it necessarily invalidates the broader point that explanations can be helpful, but the standard being set here for how we should be using the internet feels pretty strict. I don't know. And yeah, most of the examples here he uses, I don't think support that, except a couple of the arguments that he shows from In Praise of Shadows. I think we could learn a lot from that situation, you know? A lot of people got mad at me for that one comment I made calling the video weird and bad, but nobody explained why. Like, I did not get an explanation in the comments about why the sorts of things he was saying were correct and good, which was a little frustrating because it's like, you know, I want to know. And if you can't explain it, then what are we doing? You know, what are we doing? So anyways, that's episode 3. You enjoyed it, you loved it, so leave a like. Hope you enjoyed your daily dose of slop. Call someone and talk to them in real life if you can. Go for a walk, play a sport, lift a weight, brush your teeth and floss, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later, bye. Why are you still here? The credits already rolled. What are you doing? When I said go for a walk, I meant it. It'll actually feel really good for your endorphins. It's very healthy for you. It extends your life, so they say.